Hey kids, back again. Welcome to APECON. Today we are combining supply and demand. It makes a little bit more sense, and I'm going to show you how you do it. It's real simple. You know how to draw demand, you know how to draw supply, put them together. What the heck does any of that mean? So I'm going to show you, because the whole thing about a market is it's about suppliers and it's about demanders, producers and consumers working together to figure out how do we set prices. Well, they have to find what's known as market equilibrium, the price where supply and demand meet. So as you can see in this curve, this is lattes again. We put it together and you can see that, of course, buyers want to keep selling more as prices go up. Demanders want to buy the stuff at the cheapest price they can. But you got to find that sweet spot in between, and that's where you set the price. You set the price where the quantity supplied equals the quantity demand. And as you can see in this chart, it's at $3. But sometimes we get out of equilibrium, and we're going to see some problems with that. And it's two situations, okay? If we are in disequilibrium, that means we are at a price where it's not meeting in the middle. We either have a surplus or a shortage. Now, a surplus is where quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded. So I'm going to show you this. Any point above equilibrium, any point here, any price point above equilibrium is known as a surplus. You have way more supply than people actually wanting it. So let's say the price is $5 for a latte. When we are looking at the store, we're like, okay, there's about 9 of us who would want them. The quantity demanded would be 9. But suppliers are like, I like that high price. I'm going to sell a lot. They're going to sell 25. So that means that there are 16 lattes just sitting around. No one's buying because, yeah, they might be willing to sell it at that price, but no one's buying them. So you have a surplus and you have way more than you need. Now let's look at the opposite of this. We're going to look at, oh, nope, just kidding. Let me rephrase that. Sorry, I forgot. When this happens, if it's kind of like when you go on a roller coaster, we have a equilibrium in our body. And then when we have disequilibrium, we're not like that forever. Our body brings us back to equilibrium. The market does the same thing. So when that happens and they realize, well, and this is, so I'm sure you've seen this all the time, when things aren't selling, what do suppliers do to get people to buy them? They drop the prices. And they drop the prices until they get back to equilibrium. Now, in this case, you can see, let's say they set it at $4. They do have more people demanding it, but they're still going to have a surplus. It reduces the surplus, but it's still there. And they want to try to get back to the point where they sell everything and people buy everything and everybody's happy. Now, they'll do it, like I said, that's the point of equilibrium. All right, now let's say there's a shortage. So that means that quantity demanded is greater than what the actual quantity supplied is. So that means there's more of us wanting stuff than there actually is. So any price point below equilibrium, you're going to have a shortage. So let's assume that the price is $1 for a latte. That means, look at, woo, cheap coffee, yes. So we have basically right here 21 people wanting that latte for $1. And suppliers are like, well, I don't want to sell that much, that at that price. I'm not going to make much money off of it. So very few of them would actually sell it. So you have a surplus, or excuse me, a shortage of 16 lattes. There's 21 of us who want it. There's only 5 that are being sold. So 16 of us are out of luck. So when suppliers see that, they're like, wow, so many people want my stuff and I don't have enough. What will they do? They'll raise the prices. They'll raise the prices so that it'll help balance out the equilibrium. So it will cause demand to decrease because higher prices makes quantity demanded go down. And of course, higher prices, like we saw in the law of demand, makes quantity supplied go up. So it will reduce the shortage, which is good, but they're still not at equilibrium. So they're going to keep making their way up until it gets to market equilibrium. Again, whether it's a shortage or a surplus, either way, the market is in disequilibrium and the suppliers and buyers will work their way back to equilibrium prices so that we can try to make it where the same amount that is demanded is that of that supply. So tomorrow I'm going to teach you guys about shifts and how to evaluate shifts in market equilibrium. It's a 3-step process. It's very quite simple. We're using toe whisks and ties again, and I'll explain that tomorrow. Have a good one.